Hello there, aviation enthusiast. Welcome back to Nocturnal Simulations. Tonight we'll be setting off from Washington Dulles up towards Presque Isle up in Northern Maine. Unfortunately, we are just out of daylight, but I did pick up the Rex Accuseasons earlier today from the Just Flight store, in case you're curious. So far, my initial impressions are positive, but obviously I'm going to be holding my breath until I poke around in it a little bit more. But so far, I'm happy with it, and we'll decide its overall value at a future date. And if we have time at the end of the stream, remind me, because I will forget, and we can make it daylight and zoom around in Northern Maine, which I'm sure is beautiful right now with all the colors and everything. Did test it out in Aspen. The Aspen trees were really nice and yellow. Yeah, it was pretty neat to check that out. Side note, truly grateful for everyone's ongoing support, and if you wish to contribute further or donate for the first time, you can find the Buy Me a Coffee link below and more in the description. Also, super chats are open as always. And without further ado, let's jump back in the cockpit and check out the Fenix here and hopefully eventually the Accueason. Accueasons. Accueasons.
Airway to Big EO.
Okay, I'm back.
And J49 to Bangor, BGO.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't see Big EO on the waypoint list that Michael posted.
It's probably part of an airway. Well, that would be the beginning point of an airway. Alright, so let's go ahead and get this airplane loaded. I'm expecting 112 passengers. That plan field does not look right. Let's see, resend load sheet. That's not correct. Interesting. Okay. Wonder what the deal there is. Also, we get smart cars running. Got to do that beforehand. Alright. Let's go ahead and pull up the OFP here. And we will get this all up and running. Alright, OFP has 112 passengers with 16,594 pounds of fuel. Oh, now it's showing up. Okay. Load aircraft. Fast.
Here.
I think I looked at the cargo instead of the actual fuel capacity there. Okay, let's jump back to the OFP real quick because we're going to do something a little different tonight. Since this is a little longer of a flight than usual, we actually do have a step climb at Big EO. So we're going to climb to an initial altitude of flight level 230. Then at Big EO, or just past it, we're going to climb up to flight level 370, and I'm sure we'll see that reflected in the MCDU too. Hey Diesel, nope, we're just getting started, buddy. Go back to the screen. We have a departure time and 12 minutes at 3:15 or 23:15. I have the ADIRs all up and running. Let's get the fuel tanks going and get this APU up and running too, so we can disconnect from ground power and ground air. Master APU, 1, 2, 3. Start. Arm the lights. No smoking. We are loading fuel, so we'll leave the seatbelts off for now. Put the lights on in here, obviously. And cruise supply. And we should probably run the fire test real quick. Probably should have done it beforehand, but it's okay. Alright, initial altitude 270. Or 230. And the local weather altimeter is 29904. So looking at the winds here, it is really gusty down here. The winds are 310 at 8 knots, gusting 19, and we are expecting runway at 30, so it'll be pretty much a headwind for the most part. Not too bad in that instance. Alright, aircraft's loading. Okay. go ahead and do the initialization. Hit request. Aircraft is up to date. Check that earlier. Alright, as usual, Delta 929. Cost index today. Scroll back up. Oh, 47. I was looking right over it. 47. So we're going to be burning quite a bit more fuel than usual. So cruise flight level, we're going to put in our ultimate 370 in there and let it figure out the rest. Alright, winds are requested. Let's go over to flight plan. Departure, and we're taking off of runway at 30. On the, how do you say that? Jairus 2? Departure, no transition. And then for Presque Isle, go to the arrival, and we're doing ILS to runway 1. No SIDS, or no stars. So we're good there. Alright, looking at our MCDU here, let's go over to plane mode, check out what we're doing here. It says it's departing, kind of doing a little bit of a hook. And we'll be departing out on a heading of 318 after the little J hook there. So we'll be departing at 318, and then we'll do a direct to idle when we get airborne. Let's take a look at the RNAV departure here real quick on Navigraph, just to familiarize ourselves with it. Okay, so this pretty much has us doing a direct. And top altitude is 3,000. It's awful low. But we don't have any ATC since we're not off that sim, so we're just going to go straight to 230. So climb heading 11 to 820, then on a heading of, wrong runway. Climb heading of 018 to 820, then on a heading of 320 to 230 for us. Simple enough. Taxi is going to be nice and short. Runway 30 is just off our nose, off to the right over there. So all of that looks pretty good. Alright, let's go to our init. Let's check our load status. Almost fully loaded here. The fuel is topped off, so we can go ahead and get the seatbelt on. Go ahead and get the APU bleed on, and while those last couple passengers are getting, let's get rid of our ground services. So let's go off of external power so we don't drop the systems out. Get rid of the ground air. Chocks and cones can go away, and along with the GPU. And APU bleed is on. Turn down just a notch because it's normally a little warm. And let's finish our init page. Oops. Alright, zero fuel weight is 120.7 and a CG of 26.9. One 207, 269. Yep. And then our block fuel, 16.5. That'll give us a landing weight of 127.0. So we'll go ahead and slap that in over here. This keypad does not work the best sometimes. Alright, let's run our departure performance. Taking off runway 30, Runway surface is dry. Sync final load sheet. We'll leave the packs on. Sync live weather and calculate. 323535. 1 up 4. And I believe the flex was 69 or 68. Alright, so takeoff performance is good to go. Passengers are loaded. We are about ready for push. How you guys doing?
Not
too
fine.
far.
I'm ready to go.
Ready to go.
Delete.
Alright, our lights are armed. Seatbelts. Oops, on. Didn't mean to click that. Go ahead and dim the cabin a little bit here. Cockpit. And everything else above looks good. Mike and Peter are in the CJ4, and Ken, are you in the 7-3? Yep, you are.
Yep, 7-3.
Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and start pushing then, if you guys are just a minute or two behind me.
Yeah, fixing to start now.
Okay, so let's go over to the Fenix app. Ground services, let's connect that tug. You can tell it's windy. The engines have been windmilling this entire time. Alright, we want to go to the right, so we're going to do nose right. Somebody's landing, well, trying to land.
I saw that.
Alright, tug is detched. Let's go ahead and take the parking brake off. And start straight back. Alright, ignition on. Engine 2. Get our pretty good wind shear on.
Do strobes go on at a certain elevation?
Strobes are on for when you're starting, which I completely forgot to do. Whoops.
Got you.
I'm sorry, beacon is on when you're starting. Strobe. You want to leave your strobe off on the taxiways, because it can be blinding for other people. Beacon is the light that indicates that you're starting up engines. Alright, engine 2 is available. Let's go engine 1. Not my best push in the world, but we're close enough. And stop. Really need to get the engine set stop. Overwing views programmed to my stream deck here. Love that sound. And let's get the cabin lights off. Everything checks out on the ground services. We're good to go there. We're going to start our 2-minute timer. Engine 1 is available, so let's go ignition off. Flaps 1. Down, or up, 0.4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Flight controls. Trim. Let's check flight controls. Full up. Full down. Full left. Full right. Rudder. And we're good to go. So, max brake. Arm the spoilers. And we're gonna pretend that we have some sort of random code here. Go to auto. And we'll be ready here in less than a minute. Let's go get the track IR running again. Let's dim the cockpit here.
Just ground personnel moonwalking.
Nice. Oh, we need the other dials trying to dim that so it wasn't so washed out. These things are finicky. There we go. If you bleed off, if you master off. Go ahead and get our taxi lights on, runway lights, strobe to auto. Typically, Peter, you want to have your strobe on for sure when you enter the runway.
Roger, Dodger.
Alright, so we're straight out, take a left near the hold block, and Yankee 11 to 30. I'm ready to go when you guys are.
Alright, I am behind you.
Alrighty. Take out config as normal. And warn the cabin we're about to move. And let's get rolling. Park and brake off. I'm glad you made it just in time for the taxi, Tommy. How are you doing tonight? Tommy, what do you think about PMDG's 737 EFB announcement? I've got my opinions. Alright, we are clear left and clear right. Can't wait for it, Diesel. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it myself, to give it a try, but I was a little amused by how much they oversold it. Everything they mentioned in their release forum post is pretty much everything that's already on the market, other than the fact that I think it might be the first one that has all those features on Xbox. Which I don't know what the percentage between people flying the 737 on PC versus Xbox is, but I imagine that the vast majority is on PC. Alright, we actually need to take a left right here. Alright, let's take it the next route right here, the next taxiway. Oh, oversteer. Yeah, well, Tommy, this time they've actually set a date to it. So I'm more interested in seeing what's so groundbreaking about this EFB versus what's already out there on the market. Just from what I saw, didn't really say anything. Diesel, are you more of a Boeing fan? Alright, where are you guys at?
Hey, I'm behind you on the taxi.
Ooh, that was bright.
Behind Mr. Mike.
There's Ken. Let's see. Mike and Peter. Okay, so we'll go ahead and enter the runway. So, takeoff light, landing lights, and strobe 2 on. Tommy says hello, Ken.
Who?
Tommy.
Hello, Tommy. Tell him I said hello. Where's he at?
He's at work.
No, he was not flying well. I thought he snuck in on us.
No. Yeah, with everything on the market, Tommy, I agree. I think we're in pretty good shape as far as simming in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now people might actually admit to it. This is a really good simulator. Or game, or... So what is it, Mike? I forget.
Simulator.
Simulator.
It's not a game. Come on.
Alright. 50% on the throttles. Nose pressure. Stabilized. Let's go flex. Flex, maybe. If I can hit it. There we go. Flex, SRS. Alright, 100 knots. Release that pressure. Alright, V1, rotate. And positive rate gear up. I'm gonna need a translation on that comment.
Give me a signal when you want me to go.
Alright, SB flaps up. Let's go in heading mode and head towards IDOR, and let's go back to climb on the thrust levers. Climb.
These two corporate jets are trying to cut in front of me. I'm gonna roll before they do that.
No. You roll and say when you're clear because I have no visibility. I'm solo here. I don't see anyone thanks to
I'm
Microsoft
into the
servers.
runway. I'm in a position, holding, fixing to roll.
And we'll do a direct IDOR.
Peter, are you behind me?
Oh, I am right behind you.
All right. So Ken, just say when you're clear of the runway, because I'm blind to where you guys are right now. So
Yeah,
we get.
I'm past your taxiway if you want to go position and hold.
All right. We took the Ferrari taxiway here.
Oh, Tommy's not at work. He's... Oh, he is at work, sorry. He says he wished he was with us, but he's got work and homework to do. I don't like Accuseason. The hour that Mike and I played with it earlier, it's really nice. It's something that is definitely missing from the sim.
I can see the colors off my landing lights right now.
Oh, you know, I didn't really even look at that.
Yep, it shows. All right, Peter, I'm gonna roll.
You
All right.
got Ferrari now to run up behind me.
We just put the spoiler down. Brakes are automatically off. Nose light to off, and runway turn off lights to off. So we're pretty much going to be flying hands off at this point. So let's go ahead and go to autopilot. And I didn't flick TCAS over. Yeah, I liked all the options it has. Like, you can kind of keep it live or do a preset kind of thing. There's quite a bit there. Diesel says Airbus is too complicated for my pebble-sized brain. I don't know. I think the Airbus is more straight to the point versus the 737. There's a lot of things you got to do in the 737 versus the Airbus, it seems like.
It takes a real man to fly a 737.
I have a lunch tray. I don't know what your argument is here, Ken. I can eat like a man on the flight deck.
We do that anyway. So.
Alright, above 10,000 feet, let's get the landing lights off. Yeah, it's pretty smooth, so we'll go ahead and turn the seatbelts off. I'm not sure what Mama Fairy said. Anybody have a translation? You have lunch trays also. You just call it a clipboard. See, I mean, Tommy. Come on, man. Let me just. I can eat off this thing. Laptop. And play some cards. And you know what? Yeah, I can take a nap. I even have a clipboard holder over here. Everybody get up in the air. Oh, that's pretty.
Up behind you. Finally got the nav check.
Airbus equals computer programmer, Boeing equal 1 million switches. Well, maybe it makes more sense to me since I do have an electrical and computer engineering degree. And actually, I don't really think there's... I mean, you're really not doing too much more in a 737. Yeah, there's some more switches you got to flick at the beginning and the end of the flight, but really they're about the same. I just, you know, I really like the layout of the Airbus. It's my biggest thing. You know, I got some of that, you know, 1980s tech versus 1970s tech. Alright, coming up on 18,000 feet, and we'll head on over to standard. Although the one thing that does drive me nuts with the Airbus is everything in this airplane on the autopilot is you push forward to give the plane control, and you pull back to take control. Except for the altimeter. Yeah, exactly, Tommy. Like, once you get past the initial, like, getting your packs up and running and all that stuff. I mean, that's your packs and your heat probes and window heat and all that stuff. That's really the biggest difference, and you got to select your landing altitude. But otherwise, I mean, it's really not that much different. You got more buttons to push on autopilot, but really, if you think about the fact that the switches on the Airbus, the Boeing are pretty similar. You gotta think you get two switches on the knob here for speed, heading, whatnot, and they all do different modes. Whereas the Boeing has a push button for one function. Alright, so we are doing this step climb here, so let's go take a look at our, I believe it's under performance, if I can clear all these messages. Performance, next phase maybe? Maybe it's under something else. Progress, here we go. Okay, so this says recommended max flight level of 397, so we can go ahead and go on up to 370. We're not heavy enough to make that big of a difference, it looks like. Optimal's 360, but by the time we get there, we'll be pretty close to 370 anyways. Yeah, the update that Phoenix did with the airplane really increased the performance. Even with my setup, I was having lag issues, but now it's amazing how smooth it is. The only time I really have issues is like an airport like we were just at, where if I look up and look down, it gets a little laggy, but it's pretty minor. I mean, it's nothing you can't get over. So that's about the only time I really have any performance issues. Honestly, I think the Phoenix performs better than the fly-by-wire does now. With fly-by-wire, I feel like they just keep adding anything and everything to that aircraft without really trying to optimize it, maybe. I'm not sure, but... And this thing, it just works, too. And the PMDG is the same way. Everything in that thing just works. I prefer the yoke over the joystick. Yeah, I have mixed emotions about that. So I flew a lot with the honeycomb for a while. And then now I have the Verpal. And the honeycomb is great, but it's... If the elevator wasn't so stiff, I think I would prefer that over the Verpal. But I'm not sure either. Like with the Airbus, the joystick makes perfect sense. Because you're flying, you know... you're not really directly connected to the ailerons and elevators or whatnot, because when you move the joystick on an Airbus, it just commands a G rate essentially for your up and down rolling. So you're not really directly connected to it. So even if you mash the joystick forward or backwards, it's only going to go to the maximum G rate allowed for that aircraft. Plus, it has the auto trim and whatnot that I really like over the 737. But as far as GA flying goes, it depends on the aircraft. If it's really nimble, the joystick is nicer. But if it's more docile, the yoke is a little nicer. Just simply because you get that fast back and forth action with a really nimble airplane versus the yoke. It feels like it's a little bit smoother. And simple like that. One button, one function, that works for me. Right. But I mean, honestly, the autopilot for the Airbus, once you get the idea that anytime you push the knob in, it gives the airplane control, so you're pushing control away from you. And then anytime you pull the knob, you're pulling control to you. That's really the biggest factor in learning this autopilot. And it's really simple. You got 4 dials. You can pretty much do everything. I haven't flown the fly-by-wire in I don't know how long. Yeah, I fly it every now and then I immediately go right back to the Phoenix because it's just so much better. Especially on approaches with the fly-by-wire, I've had quite a few issues. Overshooting the approach, blasting through the localizer, something. Not grabbing the glide slope. So... Whereas the Phoenix, now it's not fault-free by any means because I've had issues with it, but it just seems much more reliable. Diesel, I actually have a TCA stick. If you want to PM me, we might be able to work something out there. I have the throttle quadrant too. Now that I've gotten past the Thrustmaster stuff, moving on to higher end equipment. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to hit that. Yep, just message me. It also has the speed brake and flaps modules with it too. Because I'm pretty sold on the Purple and the Honeycomb Bravo mix right now. I appreciate that, Tommy. All right, let's take a look where we're at. 30,000 feet for a 370. Which is our ultimate altitude. And we'll actually get there before Big Yo, it looks like. So here's what I was talking about. The optimal altitude was initially 360, but by the time we burned enough fuel to get up to that altitude, we were at 370, so that'll be perfect. So I'm not sure why SimBrief had that step climb in there for us. And I lost my train of thought. I'm not sure why SimBrief had that step climb in there. I've not really ever used it much, and it really wasn't that long of a flight. Because we had quite a bit of room for more fuel. Let's see here. What do we have? What's the max takeoff weight for an A320 CEO? Anybody know off the top of their head? Oh, and plus we only had 112 passengers. This thing will hold up to 180. Yeah, no problem, Diesel. Just message me on there and we'll discuss later. It's in good shape too. I have taken it apart and cleaned the potentiometer on the rudder. That was a little... that's one of the problems with that stick that it does have, but I cleaned it out and rerouted the cables, so it should be much better. So 156,000 pounds, Tommy. Yeah, okay. So yeah, we were, 20,000 pounds light there. I've never done a max takeoff with the A320 from Phoenix. I have done one with the fly-by-wire when we did the Delta Palooza last year with the Delta Virtual. I basically filled the thing up with fuel and then put some passengers in it and maybe a chicken or two. That was about all it would hold. Sounds good, Diesel. You guys are awful quiet tonight.
Well, we're just trying to let you do your thing without interrupting,
Long run down the runway, I think VR 165 knots. Wow. I took the CRJ out of... Where were we at, Mike? What runway was that? Airport? If you tried saying anything, you're muted, Mike.
Sorry, I said East Podunk.
East Podunk.
It was, yeah, Cortland, New York, November 03.
November 03. I had a CRJ 900. I was wanting to check out the Virpil with it because I hadn't set up my controls yet. And the entire time we're sitting there, I was like, Mike, I don't know about this. This doesn't look good. I ended up getting it up in the air and bouncing the right main off the roof of a house.
It worked.
It worked.
The lift you needed.
Somebody's gonna need a new roof, but it worked. It's not a dumb idea if it works, right? I think the runway is 3,500 feet long. And it wasn't like it was an empty CRJ either. It had, I don't know, 80, 90 people in it or something, and 10,000 pounds of fuel. Whatever the CRJ typically loads with. Or, you know, does it have state saving on that plane, I wonder? I don't remember. We're going to get back in the CRJ some. That's a fun little airplane to fly. The only downside to it is the small screens. It's kind of hard to see the screens on a smaller monitor. Yeah, the Aerosoft.
Typical Aerosoft.
Ken has a little vendetta towards him.
What's your next waypoint in distance from it?
Biggio. Oh, well. Fort. I just passed. Biggio is in 17 miles. No.
'Cause I still
Yes.
have my server issue and don't see any of y'all.
I'm cloaking. I didn't want you to see me.
State saving, I think, is on the EFB on the rise. Yeah, so I took off with around 9 to 10,000 pounds of fuel and some amount of passengers, but it was entertaining to say the least. Alright, it's still a little warm in the cabin, so let's go ahead and drop the temperature another notch on everything. We're approaching cruise altitude.
Here, if I'm running too slow for you at any point, feel free to blaze by me. I don't see anybody, so I'm doing my own thing at this point.
According to Volanta, you are behind. Let's see. You were behind me, and then P Mark was behind you right there.
Oh, yeah, you guys are showing up. Oh, everybody's on Volanta now. That helps me. Thank you. I don't feel so alone. I feel all by myself over here. Thank you, Microsoft.
Oh, I'm hearing that violin music again. Wow,
Yeah.
wow.
Alright, so where are we flying over here? Taking a ride at Biggio. Jersey Shore. That's Jersey Shore down there. I don't think it's the right one.
Oh, yeah, that is true. I will be going there. I was there last week. I'll be going there tomorrow. Jersey Shore, Pennsylvania.
There you go. Now you're just getting there 12 hours early.
Yep. And we are going to Presque Isle, the island in the middle of Maine. with no water in sight of Presque Isle.
Well, there's a lake nearby.
It sounds like we
there's
should be
two.
going to Newfoundland or something. You know, an
Sounds
island
like
off.
some of that
You got a sea base right next to
Some
it.
of that Canadian stuff.
Or you got a seaplane base right next to it. Does that make you feel a little better?
All right. I'll let it go.
Forgot the CRG existed in Microsoft Flight Sim. Yeah. I kind of forgot about it because it hasn't really been, talked about very much lately, but I actually really enjoy that little plane. I was a little rusty earlier. It took me a minute to kind of remember where all the buttons were, but we did a really, really short flight,
20 minutes.
if that.
40 miles.
Yeah. Volanta is blocked at work. I call shenanigans. Yeah, and unfortunately, you can't get it on your phone without paying for a subscription. You might be able to... no, never mind. we were on VATSIM, you could follow it, but we're not on VATSIM. Boston Center is on. Who's controlling? Evan.
And
Oh,
Ken, I think I blew by you, Ken, on Volanta, at least for what I see.
this is kind of funny. So Evan has his notes, his remarks here. To join VATSIM in the Boston Virtual ARTCC at the Flight Sim Expo. I actually met these guys. Oh, no, this is a new one. Sorry. This is for this year. I met Sheed. He actually checked me in at the Flight Sim Expo. Yeah, they have been on all day, Tommy. I'm thinking about trying to start a different night of the week to do VATSIM flights. It'll be... Obviously, we'll all be in here doing VATSIM, so the communication won't be quite like a group flight. But we'll be flying together. Evan's pretty good, though. I like Evan. I'm actually considering joining one of the centers and starting to control. I haven't quite figured out all the ins and outs of it yet, but I've gone through quite a few of the entry tests and things like that on their website. So Volanta shows the weather is actually moving up to the northeast, so we might actually have... Oh, never mind. Still open at our ultimate destination. Yeah, getting someone to train is the hardest part for sure, Tommy. That's going to be the most annoying part, is just kind of waiting. There's actually quite a bit of controllers on right now.
Looks like P-Mark's cutting the corner here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheating? Are you cheating?
For some reason, I didn't have Big EO in my waypoints.
For some reason.
For some reason.
There's always some reason.
You'll never catch me.
I'm not.
Not now.
I just made the call.
Ken's on to you.
Help.
Tommy, Diesel, how does the audio sound for me today? I changed a couple things on my setup earlier. I think it sounds better, but I'm obviously not hearing it on your end right now.
Well, it's about good as you're going to sound. I mean, we're just...
Ah, this guy's got
Just
jokes.
kidding,
This guy's got jokes. Just because I'm a redneck with a few brain cells, you don't have to attack me.
Yes. I didn't know rednecks had brain cells. What are you talking about?
I didn't know rednecks have brains.
We don't normally, but I got blessed.
So he may not know it, but he's talking to at least 2 rednecks in this group.
Actually, you know what? They're probably default factory installed with brains, that you just got to slap them just right in the head to make them activate. I must have hit the right branch on the way down.
Got to hit him with the brick.
Alright, cool, guys. Thanks. Yeah, hopefully it got rid of some of that reverb I was hearing before. I actually put up some sound panels in my office, too, to kind of cut down on some more of that.
Hey, you turn that into a recording studio. Gee.
Sounds good.
Practically.
Me and Michael come out there and play some music with you.
There you go. Wait, Mike plays too?
Yeah.
What do you play, Mike? I didn't know that.
Guitar and sing.
Oh yeah, well, I can play Guitar Hero.
Hey, Mike plays radio pretty good.
I got that XM. I got that XM version too.
Ken's got all the jokes tonight. Peter, I'm turning right here. I'm coming for you.
Ken, Tommy says he would like to hear you sing.
Do it. Do it. Do it.
Yeah, Mike's got in the corner too.
An office setup tour. All right, I'll try to make a video one day. I got to do a little bit more cleaning up in here.
Peter and I are flying the Ferraris here. I'm racing them.
Next is slew mode, so be
Yeah,
careful.
but y'all ran off the course.
I asked the flight centers, and they said it's okay. I said pretty please, and they said sure, do it.
You know what? Center giving you a call saying, "Are you ready to copy a number?"
Diesel, I had made a short early on in this YouTube channel's life of what my desktop looked like, but it's completely changed now. What was that TV show where they brought you into the house and gave you a tour of the... Oh, on MTV, gave you a tour of the place or whatever.
Cribs.
Cribs?
That's my crib, or something like that.
MTV Cribs.
Cribs? Cribs, yeah, okay. I'll have to... Maybe we can do a video like that. Welcome to my crib! I'll have some banjos playing in the background. Alright, I'll invite Ken up, and he can sit in the back and play banjo.
Do some of that deliverance stuff.
Peter can sing for us, and Mike can be busting out some guitar strings.
I'll play backup falsetto.
I'm 160 miles from the midway point. May have got a little overzealous on our flight plan tonight in terms of length.
I think so.
But it looks good on stream, actually, because it's really bright out right now.
It looks cool on Volanta, too.
Yeah. Alright, are we passing over anything interesting? Nope. Just a river. I love how at night you get the lights from the city illuminating the clouds. What were you about to say, Peter?
Sorry about that. Mike, what's your TAS?
All right, let's see. I am at 250 knots airspeed. I don't know what ground speed is shown on this plane. 37,000 feet over the hills of Pennsylvania.
Did you say Pennsylvania?
Yeah. You asked if we were over anything interesting. You're right over the hills of Pennsylvania right now.
These are some flat hills.
So, Michael, you know this is a long flight when you're this far in and I look and I see top of the sun is still 400 miles away.
Yeah, a normal flight's like 400 or 500 miles. This one was 800. I wanted a nice flight, nice calm night. Gotta get mentally prepared for work tomorrow.
Me too.
I love the plume of exhaust that you can see when you look behind your plane.
I mean the chemtrails?
Oh, yes.
They actually look really good in the Fenix because they like counter-rotate.
Trying to make the frogs blind. I don't know where in the CJ4 you can see your ground speed. I think it shows you. Sorry, Peter, I can't. All I can tell you is my true airspeed or my My indicated airspeed is 240.
That's fine.
You're going slow.
Oh, okay. Well then, I got some more gas here.
I'll show you slow.
Somebody just flew in front of me and set off at 2 cast.
I love how when you fly it around the Phoenix, it gets really nice and bassy with the engines.
Yeah. You guys just all showed up. I see Peter's in front of me. Ken, Michael. Thank you, Microsoft, for finally coming around.
Alright. I'm trying to take a couple of nighttime pictures, but it just normally they just don't turn out good. Oh, this could be a cool picture with just the outline of the plane, though.
Check the one out I just put in the screenshots.
What's that?
Check the one I just put in the screenshots.
This is actually a cool picture right here. Alright, let's take a look at it. Oh yeah. I like having the moon up there.
Yeah, that look good. The airplane's kind of silhouetted. You can see the exhaust stream. Cloud, top of the cloud, kind of lit up.
If I kicked back in my chair right now and brought my feet up, the sound would put me to sleep.
Pretty much the same thing to do on the rough lights.
See, that's another advantage to having that table. Oh, another thing. Oh, wrong button. You have footrests in this airplane. You can keep your Boeing.
Yeah, the seats recline fully back.
Yeah. Oh, the seats actually work in the Phoenix. You can actually move them around. Whoa, I was going crazy. That's an up, down, forward, back. I'll kick over for the person to get in there nicely. Yeah, I love the sounds of the Phoenix. Even the seat moving sounds good.
Alright, we get it already. You sound like a salesman for the...
It's interesting. There's gotta be a quick spot to like make that fold down. No? Huh. I'm not trying to sell the Phoenix. Well, other than the mic, he just needs to get it. I need to set up some controls that makes it a little easier for me to walk around in the cockpit and whatnot. Is there a list of Delta gates for the GSX? Not that I know of. Doesn't mean there isn't, but... Be cool if these buttons and everything back here worked. Grab some coffee. Open the emergency door.
Oh, guys, my sim just crashed.
Oh no.
Yep.
Yeah, Diesel. We can find you an airport nearby. The flight plan. You can start at Albany or Lebanon Municipal. You could take that thing out of there if you want to join us back up there.
Yeah, let me see what I can do. Pick Cal first.
Yeah, Tommy, I would love to use GSX, but it does not play well with the Fenix. If you recall me doing nose wheelies on VATSIM. Yep, Lebanon, Pennsylvania. Good food there and a few Amish restaurants. Oh yeah, but that would be good.
Oh my goodness! I just got the in-game ATIS coming over 122.8.
What?
Yeah.
Well, I think 1228 is just Unicom for VATSIM. Real World's 12215. Is that right? Oh, Tommy, I meant to ask you how you like that E-Jet. Is that worth the money right now? Last I heard, it was still kind of difficult to do anything, and I haven't watched your stream when you guys flew it yet. Because I would love to have that airplane. But I don't want to spend money on something I'm going to be annoyed with. We're going to have quite a direct here. The only thing you think the Fenix needs is a working coffee machine. Yeah, see, that would be nice. It'd be even nicer if it actually appeared in my hand. And I can agree with you there, Diesel. It'd be nice too if in flight, like this area was lit up, and you got rid of these zip ties down here for the food carts. I mean, that's not really useful in any way, but you know, immersion. Still developing. Figured it out. Also, one of my followers is a 175 flight officer for Envoy. So I got a flight lesson. We can meet on Discord very soon, and I'll share screen. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not worried about, you know, learning a new airplane by any means, but it would be nice to know that Fenix kind of spoiled me. Fenix and PNBG has spoiled me on high fidelity aircraft. Maybe in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2082 it will appear in real life. that would be awesome. And by the time 2082 comes around, we may be flying jets from the comforts of our office in the real world. Screens are a little small, but bigger than CRJ. No L. Okay, explain that no LNAV to me. You mean so it doesn't follow the nav tracker? What do you mean by LNAV? It'll be a worm feast by then? What do you mean? Ken, what do you think of it?
It looked pretty good. You know, it's got some issues still, but from what I've read, you know, and what Tommy said, they've done, I don't know, 2 or 3 updates on it recently and seem to be working on it. I like the airplane. I'd like to have something different also.
See, I like those small regional jets. I'm not a big long hauler.
And if the screens are bigger than the CRJ, yeah, I might be willing to check it out.
Speaking of E-jets, the new one they came out from Embraer, didn't they like screw that up? The E-jet E2 family? Yeah, here we go. Well, it's kind of the A220's competitor, but a lot of the, like the wings are too long, and then there's a fuel capacity or people capacity, or some other like weight capacity issue that prevents a bunch of airliners from buying it just because of there's a lack of airport support for them. Like you can't park them anywhere. Oh, sorry, I read your comment wrong, Tommy. You said you'll be a worm feast by then. Okay. Yes, me too. If I'm, well, there's a slight chance I'm alive in 86, but most likely not. You have to input your climb and descent in. So you mean VNAV? Because LNAV is lateral navigation, and then VNAV is vertical. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I knew the VNAV wasn't in there, and that's on paper it seems like it'd be really easy to, you know, put a simple calculation in there, but when you gotta account for inertia, winds, and you know, all those things are constantly changing along with different engine powers and all that stuff. There's a pretty good calculation going on there for aircraft that have accurate VNAVs. Yeah, no problem, Tommy. I was just a little confused when you said LNAV. I was like, how does it not follow a flight track? And you say it's good. Alright, I am 240 miles away from Bangor. And I got a flight plan discontinuity from there, so let's go ahead, check out the plan here. We might be able to go ahead and just do a direct.
I'm going direct from Bangor to MLT.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that myself. Oh, I got a direct to, it would be a direct to Fog, or Frog, Frog. Let's remove that, that's what it does. Yeah, so I got Bangor to Farag.
Oh, did you have MLT and Corac in the equation?
No, I didn't have any. When I did the arrival, I didn't have anything. Oh, I haven't put the arrival in yet, have I? Or no, I did. ILS 1. I don't have a transition or anything like that in there, though. Nothing popped up.
Oh, okay. So yeah, if you had the MLT transition, it would give you the MLT and Korak that Ken just mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
But you could go from Bangor to Farag, probably.
Yeah. Let's see here. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong report.
This is so frustrating. I had you guys out in front of me on TCAS. I could see you. Or I should say earlier, I couldn't see you. Then I could for like 2 minutes, and now you're all gone again.
Yeah, that is annoying. Okay, so you got Karak. Is that what you were saying? Karak? Karak. Yeah, I don't have that. I just got direct to Farag. Oh, yeah, well, it's probably because the elevation there. That Korak would be a better option. There's a mountain there that's up to 1522. Which we're going to be at Farag. We will be at 3200. Tommy says he's got the simple formula for us, guys. For VNAF. When we gonna start developing our own airplanes, Tommy? We had a little bit of a debate earlier, the proper pronunciation of our destination. We think it should be pronounced Presque Isle. You could also go with Presque What do you guys think it is? Free Thursday.
In the area, I'd say it's Presque Isle.
Presque Isle.
I don't think the locals would go Presque.
Presque.
Yeah, I would say Presque.
I mean, you are pretty close to Canada. You could be Presque.
Yes, but the locals would not entertain that. They'd say, go back to Quebecois. get out of Presque and go to Quebecois and go home.
Tommy says we need to be fancy. Presque.
That's got to be some of the overflow from the French influence on that part of Canada.
Yeah,
I don't know.
you're gonna have a bit of the Canadian accent bleeding into that area, just because of proximity. So, like anywhere there's a border, I imagine there's plenty of people who cross the border frequently for work or whatever, visiting. Diesel likes Presque also. I feel like I should hold my pinky out every time I say that. Got Squam, Friar, Bangor.
We were talking about rednecks earlier, so now you're a redneck with a brain with your pinky out. That's even the whole image.
Speaking French.
Right there.
Just need my tea. Give me some Earl Grey. Some little cubes of sugar. Pinky out with a cup of tea, absolutely. I do like a good cup of Earl Grey, though. I will admit to that. Alright, so our approach here, we're gonna get to Farrig, or it's probably Farog. We'll stay at 3,200 feet, and then drop down 2,700, grab the glide slope. Minimum's 679 feet, altimeter rating. And our go around is climb straight out at to 1,100, left turn 3,000, direct to Papa, Quebec, India. Which is, oddly enough, or just right there. It's not much of a left turn. Otherwise, this is pretty straightforward. It's going to be pretty much straight in, so there's should be an easy one. Assuming that weather doesn't come in. Let's take a look at the weather.
What could possibly go wrong?
Right. Radar. There it is. I was wondering why it was not loading. Which way is that storm moving? It's kind of just sitting there.
Is it a storm or just rain and stuff?
It's actually dispersing.
Yeah, let me pull out the handy dandy radar here and see what we got.
Yeah, looking at so now it's been dispersing for the past 2 hours.
It'll be our lick. Be gone.
Yeah, it looks like it would be gone for the most part by the time we get there. Which we're not even landing in it. We're just going to be descending through it. So we might have a little bit of IMC for a few minutes after at Bangor, between Bangor and Barag or Horak, whichever one you're going to.
Is it Bangor or Bangor?
It's it's got to be a Bangor, or it's probably a
redneck. It's Banger.
Banger. Yeah.
I've been there. It's Bangor. If
Bangor.
you said banger, they'd say, "Go back down south, you damn redneck coon."
Watch, hey, watch,
Yeah.
we got people on here from down south, buddy.
Ken's gonna show up on your wing there and be like,
Pennsylvania, right?
You wait till I get you on the ground in Presque Isle.
"Yeah, Tommy's up near you." You'll wake up and Ken and I'll be at your door, be like, "Hi, Mike." That's when Ken's gonna bust up the banjo.
Yeah. Yeah, wait, now I'm gonna get my buddy Vinny to show up at your front door. He'll have a violin case with him, by the way.
I think that's scarier.
Actually,
And a Grim Reaper scythe.
you've been threatening my buddy.
Anybody with the name Vinny showing up at my door kind of scares me.
Yeah, it should.
Getting
Can't be good.
getting some mob vibes here. I don't know what you.
I never have liked violins.
I had a colleague from New York City area, and his name literally was Vinny Calabrese. Oh my gosh, he's got to have some connections that I don't want to know about. Don't cross that guy.
Yeah, he can hook you up.
Yeah, Tommy, right. Yeah, he probably was from Brooklyn. But he looked the part.
You know, 4 Vinnies. He worked with one as a partner for over 10 years. Was he a big teddy bear?
Actually, the guy I'm talking about, yep, he was. He was big and I like a teddy bear.
Be careful what you say. You might be tuning in.
Yep.
I'm gonna change my. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, all of a sudden, might not show up. He might be missing tomorrow.
That might not be a bad thing. It might be easier that way.
No, can't be that. You just got to avoid Vinny.
I'm gonna change my in-game name to Vinny. Hey, Mike, look behind you. Turn your nameplates on, by the way.
Well, I'm not gonna see anybody. Let's take a look.
No, I meant if I changed my name to Vinny.
Oh. Yeah, I'll watch my back.
All right, 185 miles to top of descent. It's been a long one for sure. Boston Center is still going strong. Imagine how fast we'd piss somebody off from there if you logged in right now, right in the middle of center.
We got a one-man show going tonight, or they got the whole squad on?
What approach is this? New York approach is on. Otherwise, they've got Montreal approach is on Otherwise, it's just
Well,
him.
that's what I meant, in Boston. You mentioned Boston. I mean,
Yeah, I'm just looking at the areas that are overlapping because there's nothing in Boston Center online right now.
You guys, I'll catch you later.
See you, Peter. Thanks for coming.
so yeah.
There is a string of flights ahead of us here. They must be flying together.
Might be, I was noticing that just then.
Got Dandy 300, Epic 7500, Breadmaster. What is a GL6T?
No idea. What are you looking?
On Atlanta's aircraft type is a GL6T. Oh, Bombardier Global Express. I apologize, that was really bright. Oh, let me do this. What I find interesting, though, is that I have 9,800 pounds of fuel on here. And we're not even at the top of descent yet. What's my landing fuel?
I've got 11,000 pounds. But flight plan call for 18,000. That's what I loaded.
Rampway. Anyway, it's 1269 according to this. I think it was 126. What did my calculations show earlier? 127, okay.
That other guy named Mike, he's been mighty quiet tonight.
Planned landing fuel at destination is 6464. Okay, so minimum is going to be 5,000, and got an available delay fuel of 1,390 pounds. Just 14 minutes. We're going to do a 14-minute hold. Although we probably burned quite a bit of fuel early on, just climbing straight to 370 versus... Well, no. That wouldn't make any sense. Let's do this. Let's check our waypoint. What's our next waypoint? It's probably Fryer. Yep. So... Oh, we just passed Squam.
That's good. I'm 29 miles from Squam, so you got about 30 miles lead on me.
So it was saying we should have 8.7 at Squam, and we've got 99.7. So I've got 1,000 extra pounds of fuel right now. So I'm good. Really good, actually.
The tops of the clouds would really look good tonight with the moonlight.
Yeah, they do. It's nice. They're pretty hot tonight, too. Let's compare the en route winds here compared to what we actually have. So, Squam, At 37 is 2909. So it's 312 at 10 right now, so close. Not quite right though. But this was obviously generated quite a while ago at this point. About 2 hours almost. Yeah, Mike, whenever if you get to CRJ, you can actually input all your winds and stuff manually, and you'll have to use your operational flight plan to grab those. Whereas with the, well, I don't know, does the PMDG automatically pull in winds like the Fenix does?
It has a button to push for a winds forecast and pull them in.
Okay.
Well, wait, so no. Unlike the A320, you import the winds before takeoff. PMDG, you can put in your cruise wind, and then before descent, you want to get your descent wind forecast so it can do the VNAV calc a little more accurately.
Gotcha.
So you wait till just before descent and get a current wind forecast, and there's a button to push for that, and it imports it.
Yeah, just to refresh my descent winds.
I was just looking at what you were doing with the OFP and looking at the estimated fuel on board at different waypoints. And you, like for me in this plane, for SWAM, it's estimating I'll have 1,800 pounds of fuel, which looks right for what I have. And for this little plane, I have so much less fuel on board than you guys are carrying or needing.
Oh yeah, kind of throws you off.
Crazy. Like,
Yeah, Diesel, the circuit breakers do work, so let's try one here that won't break the airplane, hopefully. Lower ECAM display, let's pull that. There you go. Display's gone. Put it back in. There she goes.
wow, that's amazing.
I'm just glad it came back on. I was like, oh, I'm totally going to break something here. Like, I accidentally pulled the autopilot and won't come back online. And I have to hand fly this thing all the way in, just using Navigraph. Yeah, the terrain works. I don't know if we're going to see it. Oh, yeah, there you go. The weather radar does not work.
And doesn't the weather radar work in the 737?
No.
No. Oh, no, it's the TVM. I'm getting confused. We're bouncing back and forth so much.
Yeah, I wish they would at least put the next rad weather radar in here. So you'd have something. Yeah, I love the fact that they work too. And I'm sure at some point we'll have airplanes that you get a random breaker pop or something like that. There's just probably something in this airplane for that. I haven't really messed with the failures too much, honestly. Oh no, it's not going to be a right menu. Where would that be? Probably a Fenix app. Some settings. I'm not sure. Oh, you know what I could do instead of pulling Navigraph charts across the screen all the time is to actually use Navigraph on the tablet here. I always forget about it. I think you can draw on this one too. So we pull up the approach, star that. I don't know if it's going to make me log in. No, it didn't. Okay. It's kind of cool. You can actually draw on the charts. So if you guys are asking questions, we can, you know. There's an example there. Oh. This would have been handy when we were flying that crazy circling arrival and departure on Thursday. You actually get it'll show the airplane on here too. Take a look at the ground charts, see which way we gotta pull off the runway here. Landing on 1, so if we manage to stop at Charlie, we can take a right or we can take a hard right to Bravo.
Yeah, if we manage to stop at all.
Well, that's 7,400 feet long. You'll be fine. Yeah, like that's a perfect example. Is if your ATC's talking to you or whatever, you can just be like, okay, exit 1 available, Alpha to the ramp. You can go, okay, Bravo, Alpha. It kind of reminds you. Nope, don't like that. Is there a way to change the color? Oh, there is. There we go. That'll make it stand out more. Or you could write, you know. That way you can write it down real quick. This would be real handy in VR too, if you don't have a pop-up that would help you out. Got to get going and actually work for like an hour or so. Okay, yeah, go on your paycheck, Tommy. Have a good night. Thanks for joining. What does this star mean? I don't know what that is. Oh, you know what we could try real quick is if you swap between charts, does it keep your writing? It does not. Darn. Star means service is available. Oh, okay. Thanks, Tommy. All the way out in the cornfield? Maybe that's the lake that Mike is looking for. Start zooming in on the map here. 80 miles. So top of the sun's about 65, 70 miles. Let's go ahead and do our destination data.
Wake me up when we get there.
You're getting close. Alright, we were expecting 127 for our landing weight, but we're 1,000 pounds heavier than what we were expecting. So let's do 1280. Runway conditions are good. Let's go ahead and refresh the METAR. Fly it. Altimeter 2963. And we're going to be landing with max reversers, low brake, and what are we missing? I got the weight in here. Don't know why this is not calculating the distance. Oh, runway. Thought we put that in already. 1. There we go. Yep. So, distance required, landing distance required LDR is 6,335 feet. And then if you multiply that by 1.15, we get 7,286 feet. All the data in the 320 confuses you. Are you talking about it for the destination data? So we have a 10 knot headwind. I'm sorry, 8 knot headwind at 010. So, Diesel, you just talk about what goes in here? Okay, so the QNH is the altimeter. So it was 2963. The temperature, 8 degrees Celsius. Magnitude for the winds is 010 at 8, I believe, yep. And then the baro is probably the one that's most confusing. That is on your chart. The barometric minimum. Typically 200 physical feet off the ground. So we look at the chart. Look down at our decision height here. It's 679. And then if you want to use the radio altimeter, you can do 200 feet here, which would be this number right here. And then the transition flight level is 18,000 feet. It's just where you go from standard to the local pressure. And then the V-approach speed you don't really mess with. And then you can also, if you wanted to do a landing configuration with flaps 3, you could program it here versus full. You're kind of just highlighting which one you want. And you'll see that that changes your V-approach speed. And all that really does is just help the plane, while it's an autopilot plus your flight director, keep you on track. Alright, we're about 38 miles from double descent. Yeah, nothing too exciting. But, you know, a lot of this information you enter can be a little confusing where you find it sometimes. Kind of reminds you of the CJ4. Yeah, I'll let Mike comment on that one since he is flying the CJ4 right now. Do you have to do all that on your approach information, Mike?
Yeah. You don't have to do that on the 737. You guys throw the Boeing down, but for your descent and approach stuff, there's not much to do in the Boeing. But in that A320 and the CJ4, you got all kinds of stuff to click.
Yeah, so now we're probably break even on the amount of work you do in an A320 versus a 737.
I think so. I fly both, and I can't complain about either. They're both equally enjoyable.
Yes, they are. Especially since I 3D printed the MCP for the 737. Having that makes flying that thing a joy. You know what I should do? I actually ordered some longer cables because the Arduinos use that. What's it? USB-B or whatever the square one is. Plugs, and the plugs that came with the Arduinos ordered was like, I don't know, 8 inches long or something. So they didn't really reach around to the back of the computer. So I ordered some longer ones. I should set up a little camera and mount that MCP to the top of my Bravo so you can see me pushing the buttons. That'd be kind of cool. I just got to figure out how to get my camera. See, I've got a GoPro and then my DSLR. One of the two would probably be able to route into my computer, and if not, I got a webcam I could set up too. A little tripod. Yeah, 20 miles top of descent. I'll have to mess with that this week before the EFB comes out. Now I need to remind myself how to fly the 737 correctly.
I can help you with that.
Alright, let's go ahead and get our next altitude in, and we're going down to 320. No, 3200, sorry. Actually, is there a restriction, constraint? Oh, it's turning on constraints while I'm thinking about it. Farag has me, actually Farag has me at 4650. So Petry's 2700. Okay, I can go ahead and go down to 2700 because the constraints are already on the MCDU. I've wanted to build a autopilot for the Airbus, but the push-pull encoders are really expensive, and I've designed my own push-pull encoder, which uses some momentary push buttons, a spring, and an encoder, but it's just clunky, to say the least. But now that that mini FCU, is that what it is? Mini FCU? Yeah, here we go. Now that this is coming out soon, I may pick this up. Because I think I could probably mount this to the top of my Bravo and be perfect.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not that expensive. It's around $300 for what it is. Although I'm not sure if it works with Fenix yet. Some people were talking about they've got workarounds for it. So the Fenix, for whatever reason, and I better pay attention to the airplane because they're probably at top of descent, and we are. Phoenix, for whatever reason.
Oh, that's right. You have to watch that in the Airbus. You have to just pull that knob to descend.
Yeah.
I'll
push, but
get that for you.
It's all right. We'll use a little bit of drag brake here and get back on track. Yeah, they got the mini EFIS also, which would be really cool. But if I could get the FCU and the mini EFIS on top of my Bravo, that would be amazing. And then I just need to 3D print myself a... Ooh, look at my speed there. Easy killer.
Sorry, Michael, that was a dig on the Airbus. I said, oh, geez, you have to actually be on top of that in the Airbus. In the Boeing, you can just put your feet up. It'll descend at the right time. All on its
See,
own.
I have more flexibility. I won't accidentally descend before I'm supposed to descend. Although I also miss my top of descent and have to use air brakes, but... Alright, we have caught back up. Let's slowly bring those spoilers back in. I said flaps. Yeah, so I've actually gotten working the... I think it's either all of the readouts or some of the readouts. I don't remember. It might just be the altitude. But one or all of the readouts is not readily accessible through Fenix with the LVARs. But somebody wrote a piece of code that allows me to use MobiFlight to get them. So for some reason, the mini FCU, there's just no way to get around it. Then I may be forced to do my own thing, but we'll see. because I don't fly the fly-by-wire enough to justify getting it. Worst case scenario is I just look at the screen and turn the dials, so it won't be that big of a deal, but wouldn't be as nice either. Mike, at least my landing elevation is automatic.
Yeah, I'll give you that. That is kind of ridiculous that you got to twiddle that knob.
Yeah, this massive database of information for every airport in the world inside that little computer right there. You still have to manually turn a knob to get that elevation in.
Yep.
And
Ken, you're being awfully silent on this topic.
he's asleep. Kid, wake up.
What?
You gave me grief about being so quiet. You told me to wake up.
I'm awake.
All right, we are going into some clouds here. Outside temperature is probably nice and cold. It's negative 33 at the moment, so let's go ahead and get the engine de-ice on.
You gotta wake me up when we got there. I missed the top of the descent. It did it for me. I did go ahead and set my altitude so it would descend, unlike the Airbus.
It's okay, when I fall asleep, at least I have 37,000 feet below me.
I thought I would blaze past you guys in this CJ4, and I have been fighting to keep up with you the whole time.
Really?
Well,
Well, you know, that's what you get for playing in the minor leagues.
yeah. I'm right there with you, but it's not like I had all this extra super horsepower to blaze by you. We've been on par with each other this whole time.
Those winds must be affecting you more.
That's true. I have no mass compared.
Is icing visible on all planes or just...
That might have been fat shaming, I'm sorry.
It is now, since you made it that way. Is icing visible on all planes or just a few? It's most planes show icing. I actually don't recall if the Phoenix does or not. It will detect ice. I want to say it actually doesn't display ice.
Well, I learned today with all my Blender stuff that I was watching that the visibility of icing is actually dependent on the livery.
Yep. Alright, so our altimeter was 2963. It's gonna shoot me way down. And let's just check the weather again at the airport to make sure.
I'm seeing 2960 right now.
I got 6.3 in the Phoenix. I got 6.0 on Navigraph, so let's go with Navigraph.
Yeah, sorry, that's where I got that from.
I wonder if I can do this. Nope. 2960. We'll stick with that. What are the winds? Because those probably changed a little bit. 02011. Oh, was that a format error? 02011. Oh. Not connect simulator. Simlink needs to be running. Oh. Well. It's weird that it's having trouble connecting because smart cards is working. At least I think it is.
You just think smart cards work.
That Simlic thing you're seeing, I had 2 or 3 times today.
Yeah, it's already running is what it says. So let me reopen Navigraph. Oh, still not showing me. Well, that would have been really interesting had I pulled the wrong breaker and didn't have a Navigraph. Then I had to rely on Volanta. And that's just terrible. Alright, coming up on 10,000 feet. Let's go ahead and get those landing lights on.
Coming through 18.
You know what, it would have actually been pretty cool, it would be if I had lost all that stuff, is to use the VORs for navigation to get in. Here's where I think I am. Let's see if it's close.
I thought it would be fun in these. Go out to that VOR and make that procedure turn. And hope for the best.
Pretty much. Especially, you know, trying to go down through these clouds right now without any sort of navigation would be a little unnerving. Not so much at this altitude, but should be popping out here shortly.
It's gotten pitch black all of a sudden.
Yeah, I just got the light off in front of me right now. You'd give up if you had to use VORs in the airliner. Well, it's not that much different than what we did in the TBM the other day, because you get those VORs that are for high altitude navigation. They're good for 200 miles. So you could do VOR to VOR and find an airport with an ILS. It wouldn't be too bad.
Oh, there's your next stream idea.
Yeah, that would be quite the challenge. Set up a failure, simulate a failure, whatever. Okay, we lost our 8 ears. GPS is gone. That would actually be really cool. I may have to give that one a trial before I do it on stream. Hey, there we go. Busted out.
We may need to practice that one a couple of times, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I think I have an idea of what we would need to do, but that would definitely be a different challenge. Because you would put go in the radio nav here and put in the nice thing about the Airbus too is you can put in the code for the VOR you're going to, and I'll have to type in the frequency. Okay, things are about to get quick.
I'm in the sea. I am pitch black here.
Yeah, you'll pop out. It'll be dark, but at least you won't be in the soup the entire time. Although I'm about to hit some more clouds here, so it's outside air temperature.
This has been crazy this whole flight. I see you guys will show up. I got nameplates on, and you'll show up here and there for about 30 seconds, and then be gone for 10 or 15 minutes, and then show up again for 30, 40 seconds. I'm like, oh, I see you guys. I'm not alone.
Yeah.
And then you're gone.
All right. Well, there is the little icon you see overlaid in the charts.
What is that icon for?
That's my airplane.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Alright, we hit our decel point, so let's wait for 230, and we'll go to flaps 1. Alright, 230, flaps 1. Ice not detected, let's go ahead and get the anti-ice off so we keep all of our performance. We'll go ahead and get our runway lights turned on, and landing lights on the nose, they'll pop on when we lower the gear. Alright, this is commanding 136 on the speed, which will probably work out okay with our current glide slope. The fact we're 15 miles from the airport. This thing's been on an idle descent for a while. We start getting too slow. There it goes, it's picking up some speed now. Holding us at the S speed, that's good. So, Petrie, we want to be flaps 2 before Petrie. I think I got a visual on the runway there. Alright, got the VOR. Let's go to approach mode. And turn our landing systems on. Let's go flaps 2. Petrie's going to be our glide slope waypoint.
I'm seeing a little bit of the ground light set coming through 9500.
This thing's doing a great job not burning any fuel down low here. It's actually really impressive how good this VNAV is. I'm not going super quick, but not burning any fuel either. Alright, glide slope. Should be captured momentarily. Alright, let's go gear down. Flaps 3. And flaps 4. Seatbelt signs. Forgot to put those back on. Cabin is good to go. Let's go low brakes and spoilers armed. Alright, we are in landing configuration. Let's go on over to the airport chart. We're going to try to make Charlie. If not, we'll go to, I believe that was Bravo. Alright, it's nice clear. Autopilot off. Ooh, that was a wind gust.
What was the wind here?
Can't tell you at the moment. I don't have it pulled up. It's like
20 degrees,
0.
11 knots.
Yeah, check
Say
that.
again, Mike, what?
20 degrees, 11 knots.
Check out, there's a windmill over here, right in the middle of town.
Oh, wow.
Alright, 3 grand on the landing gear. Flaps full, spoilers are armed, and low on the brakes.
Five hundred. 400. 100 above. 300.
Yeah, Diesel, the advantage to using the barometric minimum, like we had just announced there, is that you don't get those random callouts at 100 below for like a tree or a power pole or something like that. So we got minimum, so continue.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard.
20.
Ooh, that nose lifted when those reversers kicked on. Looks like we're going to Bravo. Yeah, maybe. Oh, here it is. It's really hard to see. Alright, spoilers up, flaps up. Waffles, butter, pancakes, butter. We got all of it tonight, guys. Alright, APU. Go to taxi lights. 3 seconds on the APU and start. Alright, good thing about where we're at is we're basically going to be parking right over here somewhere. Can't really see very well to see where to park. For some reason, this icon's going nuts right here. Let me check the ground chart. So you got the terminal apron, which is a lot smaller than the general aviation apron right in front of us. We're going to go to GA so we can all sit next to each other. Out on that way, we had a landing rate of 88 feet per minute.
Not too shabby.
No.
I'll turn in behind Ken here shortly and I'll butter the bread.
I must have had a little bit of...
Oh, here comes the trash. Here comes the trash talk now.
Oh, this is much smaller than it looks like on the map.
Actually, I'm nervous about landing this thing. I haven't flown this plane in forever.
We're just going to park it right here.
You gonna butter the bread though? Come on.
Get front row seats to Mike's landing.
Pressure's on now, Mike.
You're next in line.
Pressure's on, but I ain't the one running my mouth though.
Yeah, we're just going to park it here. There's not really anywhere for commercial flights to go. Alright, let's check our APU. It is available, so let's go ahead and shut engine 1 off. And engine 2. Get some lights in here. Oops, wrong button. And go ahead and get the APU bleed on. lights can go off. From landing lights can go off. Strobe off. And we'll leave the beacon on for now. And seatbelts can go off. And to board the airplane. And front left door and port stairs. Let's go find Mike.
Yeah, Ken before me.
Or Ken, okay. Wait, I don't see Ken.
That cloak, that way you can't tell how bad my landing is.
Yep. Yeah, I can't see Ken. It's unfortunate.
I'm still about 13 miles up.
Well, here's what we'll do, Diesel, since I'm thinking about it. Let's check out the Accueason, or AccuWeather. See, I did it again. Oh, that was really bright. Alright, so let's get rid of these clouds too. So they really pop. Live weather off. There we go. Yeah, there we go. You can see the different colorations of the trees and everything. And it updates every day to give you the latest files. So I'm not sure how many different colorations we'll see, but we should see a somewhat accurate representation of the foliage. Hey, I actually found one of the biggest parking spots in the dark over there. Guess I could have pulled up to the left there. Yeah, it was $25 off Just Flight's website. Or is it Just Flight? Was that where we got it from?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it was
okay.
only $20.
20 or 25. This is a really nice area. This would have been nice to land at during the day. Oh, there's a pancake in the air. Only pancake. I'm really excited to see what it does for winter when all the leaves are gone. See what that looks like.
What are y'all talking about?
Rex Accueason. I said it right that time finally.
Okay, you still don't see me?
Nope.
5 miles, 4.5 out now. Go down through the green platform. It's pretty breezy.
Make a few screenshots since we didn't have too many opportunities.
Looks good with the fall colors.
It does. Alright, Diesel, thanks for joining, buddy. Appreciate you staying around for the whole thing. Yep, I'll expect that, and I'll chat with you later. Have a good night. See you. Alright, Ken, how'd you fare?
Haven't yet. I'm close though.
Oh, okay.
I'm on the glide slope behind you. 5 mile
Can
final.
can you see Ken?
I see his name plate ahead of me. Did you switch out to
I
that?
just touched down.
Switch out to what?
The green nameplates?
Not yet.
Where'd you
I like
park, Michael?
There's the one big GA area right there off of Bravo.
Right?
Yeah, to the right off Bravo. I say big, but you can only fit 4 or 5 planes here, our size. I parked right in the middle of where typically 10 172s would sit.
It's so dark here. I mean, do I go right or left after I make that turn off?
Which taxiway you on?
I don't know.
Well,
Start out.
no, depending on which one you're on. It looks like you might be at Charlie, so it'd be a left. Just looking at Atlanta.
Yeah,
Take a left.
Charlie.
All right, Mike, let's see what you got.
Right now I'm seeing what... I'm testing out this plane. I want to see how good it's going to follow this glide slope, but we'll get out of autopilot here soon.
Oh, you parked down toward the end here? Between Charlie and Bravo?
Yeah. Kind of more near Bravo.
Oh, this thing's got a... I'm not sure.
What?
Oh, that's ground spoilers. Not sure how they work here in this plane.
I don't know. I guess I turned wrong, maybe.
Oh. Oof.
Oh, jeez. Dang. Still trying to get that rudder control
And
under control.
yeah, I don't see you, Michael. I guess we're not visible now.
No.
This part here.
We won't worry about group photos tonight. So,
That wasn't butter right there.
up here, Peck. Alright guys, well, I appreciate you all joining tonight, especially if you're watching this at a later date. Hope you enjoyed that. Check out the Rex Accuseason, see what you think about it. Let me know in a comment, that'd be great. Or if you have it already, that'd be even better. Just let me know what you think from your experiences. So with that guys, have a good night and happy flying. See you.